So, Homo movements means that as human beings and societies, we seem separate, but in our roots we are part of this whole and share in the same cosmic process. We are truly interrelated. The word that's used is holon. A holon is a whole that is part of other wholes. Each one of us is a holon. We are part of perhaps a community that's a whole, and there's a whole within a whole within a whole. So each whole is a part, and each part is part of a whole. And that's what Wilbur says. Reality is composed of neither wholes nor parts, but of whole parts or holons. We need a new language, okay? That's where I'm kind of go here. We are using language and categories from an ancient past. The language it's why it's part of our conflict. You see, the desires there, we do believe God's involved goodness, but the language and the categories we're using to talk about Christian life do not move us into a deeper way of being in this universe. The other, the way we are called to think today is in terms of systems theory. This is largely from biology, but other sciences as well. A system is an integrated whole whose essential properties arise from the relationships between the parts. So in a systems organization, you don't think of, individual entities. That's Newton's world. In Newton's world, you could think of individual parts, right? In Newton's world, if the part was a defect, you take out the part and you put in a new part. Here we're saying every part affects the whole because the whole is in every part. Anytime there is something wrong with the part, there's something wrong with the whole. So if we say there's something wrong with the church, then there's something wrong with us. You see? We're part of the whole. And the description, therefore, of the organism is a description of relationships. We call this contextual thinking. It looks at relationships among physical components. So, what if we were to begin to think, dear Pope Benedict, to think of gospel life as morphogenetic fields, quantum entanglement, implicate order, and holons? What if we were to talk about Jesus Christ and Christian life in this context? Now we must take, and this is, largely of what our life is about today, it's evolution. Evolution is not a theory any longer. It is the way we have come to be here today. How it's happened, that's up to science. And science continues to work on evolution. But what we know is this universe is about 13.7 billion years old. Billion. Yesterday we were at the Coolangatta Zoo, is that right? Did I pronounce it? Huh? Currumbin, sorry. Where we saw, alligators and all sorts of, well, I love the koala bears, I have to tell you. But how did we get here? We weren't dropped down out of the sky, although sometimes we think this way. We come from a slow, ancient, dynamic, unfolding process of life in the universe. Evolution, as a descriptive term, points to the unfolding life that's marked by change. Change is integral to life. And therefore, life is an emergent process. It's constantly moving from a more simplified form to a more complex form. As Philip Clayton says, here it is. Once there was no universe, and then there was the Big Bang. Once the earth was unpopulated, and later it was teeming with life forms. Once there were apes, and then there was Einstein and Gandhi. Okay, that's a little bit of a jump. What is changing about us? Now, I don't know if in my view, I don't think we can say for sure that biological evolution has ended, because I see technology as part and parcel of the whole evolutionary process. And I think as we speak, we are moving from Homo sapien to Techno sapien. But that's a discussion for another day. The other thing that is changing is our consciousness, awareness. We are conscious, due to technology and mass media, that we live in a globalized, pluralistic, multi-religious world. We are conscious of a relatedness. How do we know? We have the cell phone, right? You know, reach out and touch someone. We know we're related. Our consciousness is changing, and yet, because we live with a medieval gospel and a medieval Christian life, we have, you might say, I always speak of Christian life as like functionally schizophrenic. You know, one part of the brain is saying, yes, this is a new world, and I know I need to, find my faith in this world. The other is, we're in the beautiful Ptolemaic Universe Church, with Mary and the heavens and the angels surrounding me, and I'm going to leave earth and go to heaven, and all will be well. We're going to wrap it up. So we have a crisis of consciousness as Christian. Now, part of this consciousness, I think, comes to our understanding of Christ. The good news, as we said in the beginning, is, God's involved love in the person of Jesus Christ. What is the reason for Christ? Now, traditional theology says sin. The whole point of Jesus Christ is sin. And so that story is, we had this lovely Garden of Eden, right? Got this great paradise. Then Eve ate the apple, which is nowhere mentioned in Genesis, but she ate it anyway. And she lured Adam into sin. They fell, and after that, pure turmoil. Finally, God said, no way this human species is ever going to come back to me. I need to send the Son. So we have this idea that God sends the Son. Okay, go for it, Okay, Dad, I'm going on my mission. Comes down to earth, lives, dies, risen to new life. We're good as new. What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this? A, the only reason we have Jesus Christ is because of sin. Christ came because of a defect in creation, because of a woman named Eve. So it's there, and every Good Friday, every Easter Sunday we say, oh, Felix culpa, oh, happy fault. Because if Adam did not sin, Christ would not have come. Now the Franciscans say, really? You're kidding. God is love, immense love, immense love. And you're saying the only reason for Jesus Christ is sin. Bonaventure and Scotus said, can't be. Can't be. The reason for Christ is because God is love. Love always seeks to share itself with another, and from all eternity, God willed to share God's love in a finite way. Christ is first in God's intention to love. From all eternity, God willed Christ to come. God, therefore, willed a creation. And if Christ is first in God's intention to love, that means this whole evolutionary creation has meaning and purpose.